How's it going, everyone? Code there, back again, dropping another video. I've been dropping videos quite a lot, Anna. Right, I did a video yesterday on prisoner Stuart Horner, who was on Strange Ways roof. Strange Ways being a prison in Manchester, HMP in Manchester, here in the northwest. And he took over the prison, like up on the roof, and protesting at conditions, treatment of prisoners, etc., etc., highlighting the problems within the Ministry of Justice and prisons as a whole. Right, anyway, on the back of the video, someone asked me to do a video to do with being arrested, right, questions and stuff like that, right, what to say if you're arrested and stuff, right. So let's address it, let's jump straight into it. Right, so obviously I've been arrested a hell of a lot of times, right. Now, please don't, I just need to make a little bit of a disclaimer, right. Right, I know what I'm talking about, but don't take everything. Right, every situation is different, right, and you always take legal advice, right? Trust me. Right, so having been arrested a lot of times, right? So you've been arrested, yeah? You're taken to the police station. They take you, they search you, they take like your money, your phone, your keys, your bank card, wallet, all that sort of stuff, right, off you. You're placed in a cell. And then obviously they'll ask you if you want a solicitor, right? You always have a solicitor, right? If you don't have a solicitor's number, you say to the sergeant, right? Can I pick a local company or something? I don't use the duty solicitor, right? The reason I don't use the duty solicitor is based at the police station and speaks to the police, right? So if you're sat there with this duty solicitor telling him you've done it but you're not admitting it to the police, and then you go in for interview and you go no comment, right, he'll just tell the police that you've fucking done it, right? So don't use the duty solicitor. I never do, right? So pick a, like, they've got a big fucking list of like local solicitors, so just pick one off the list, right? Simple as that. Right, anyway, so let's jump into it. So you're being questioned, right? So you've asked for a solicitor. The solicitor's turned up. You pulled out of your cell. You get what you call, like, you sit down with your solicitor on your own, just you and your solicitor, and you get what's called a disclosure, right? A disclosure, for those that don't know, is like, it outlines like the police have to tell the solicitor, to an extent, not the full extent, but to an extent, what they've got on you. So, like, say they've got CCTV of you attacking someone, or, like, you know what I mean, certain situations, yeah, that'll play out, yeah. So if they've got, like, if you've gone into a house and robbed an house, yeah, and there's fingerprints, yeah, in the property of yours, or you've cut yourself, like, going through an open window, through a glass window, and you broke it, and there's blood, and there's DNA, and there's forensics, obviously, they tell you solicitor and stuff like that. Right, so when you sit down with your solicitor, you get this disclosure and stuff. Normally, what your solicitor will say to you is, what do you want to do? Now, in very easy terms, what they say is, normally, if you bang to rights, right, if you're guilty, right, and you bang to rights and it's all against you, right, they normally tell you to go no comment, right? If you've not done it, right, and you can, like, give an alibi or things like that, then they tell you to give an account, a full account, as they call it. A full account meaning you answer the questions that are put to you by the police. Another reason to always have a solicitor with you when you're at the police station and stuff, to have a solicitor there, is so that the police don't ask you they don't go, because police, when your solicitor's there, they've got to do it by the book, right? Because your solicitor can pick them up on it. If your solicitor's not there, the police will ask you anything. Any which way, they'll just keep going on, and they'll dig, and they'll ask questions they're not allowed to ask and stuff. And it does go on, trust me. The police are corrupt at the end of the day, you've got to remember that. So yeah, so like I say, I've been, like, what I normally do, right, say if you bang to rights, right, what I do is, like, because if you just go no comment throughout the interview, right, it can go against you, right, because you've not admitted the charge, you've not denied the charge, right, but they'll charge you with it, right. So what I do, I drop a prepared statement. A prepared statement is just something that I sit down with my solicitor and I say, right, I want to deny the allegation against me. I want to say that I was at home, right? Because say they've got no CCTV or anything on you, right? You just say you was at home, right? I was at home, because they've got to disprove that, right? Like, say that you know what I mean? If you start dragging people's names into it and this and that, right, they'll then go speak to these people and stuff, and it gets messy. You dirty the water, but you're also dragging other people in, right? So you don't drop names, yeah. Trust me, it's better to speak about your own situation, yeah. If you've got a couple of lads that are on the line with you, say there's 5 or 6 of you that have been like dragged in, right? You should all use the same solicitor as well. Like if you know that if you've done something right, and you say to the lads, right, listen, if we ever get caught and we ever get locked up by the police, we all use the same solicitor, right? This is the solicitor company we use, yeah. Because that way, the solicitor can tell you what the other lads have said, blah blah blah. It all works out, trust me, in the end. But yeah, like I say, so I drop a prepared statement. If I'm banged to rights, if I'm guilty, sometimes even if I'm not guilty, I'll just drop a prepared statement and just deny the allegation against me, and say, as a matter of like courtesy, I'm going to answer no comment to any further questions. That way, what I've done, I've denied the allegation, which they've got to prove, and then I've said that I was at home, which they've got to disprove, right? When you give a version of events, the police have got to prove things, right? They can't just, if you throw your hand in and say, I've done it, I'm fucking guilty, right? You get in charge, right? Obviously, so you never throw your hand in. Like, I never throw my hand in, never, right? The reason they want to question you, right, for those that don't know, right, when the police, I'm talking to people that have never been arrested before, that might have got into a bit of trouble, or they might be doing a bit of this and a bit of that, right? If the police do arrest you and stuff like that, what they want to do, they want to obtain evidence by way of questioning, right? So look at it like a jigsaw, right? Say the police have got 1 or 2 pieces, right? They want to talk to you because you're this jigsaw, so they need information from you. So they're going to ask you questions, right? And what they'll do, they ask the question, then they answer it. When they ask you a question, it always leads on to something else. And what they're trying to do, if you're talking in an interview, right, if you're guilty but you're given a version of events, right, what they'll try and do, they try and tie you in knots, right, so you can't get out of it. To be a good liar, right, you've got to be a good liar, right, and you've got to have a good memory to be a good liar. If you've got a shit memory and stuff, because everything you say, obviously, if it goes forward to court, you've got to fucking remember what you've said and stuff. Obviously, you get transcripts and stuff like that from your solicitor and all that, but you should keep your answers short and sweet if you're answering questions. Like I say, the normal adage is, if you're banged to rights, go no comment. If you're innocent, give a version of events, right? Never incriminate anybody else, right? Because that's grassing and stuff like that. You just don't do that. But what you can do is, the police are trying to narrow it down to prove it's you. So what you can do, right, is I always say, this is my advice, right? If you can put reasonable doubt there, right, which then the police are trying to narrow it down, yeah, to you, right? You've then got to cast the net further and try and make out like there's other people involved. Even if there's not other people involved, like I say, you can make up people and just say, oh, like fucking hell. Like example, right? I once got arrested. I won't go into the ifs and like everything because I can't. But I was arrested for something, right? And I just said, all my mates had access to my phone and stuff, right? But I said because of I wouldn't get. I said I'd get filled in or something, right? Or my life would be in danger or something, right? It wasn't going to be in danger, right? And did the lads exist? I'll leave that up to you to decide. But there was no names mentioned. I just said, look, I can't drop names because I'll get hurt and blah, 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 right? So what I've done there is I'm saying it's not me, but I can't mention other people's names because I get done in. There wasn't anyone else, right? But that's what I'm saying to you. You've got to make it look like, you've got to try and show that it could be a million different people. They're trying to narrow it down to you. You've got to make out that oh yeah, this person had my phone and stuff. Because they've got to then prove that other people didn't have my phone, and they couldn't prove. So what happened? I got NFA'd, right? They thought I was banged to rights. They thought I was fucked, right? I give my version of events, right? Like I say, a hypothetical situation that I've just played out in the last minute or so, and that's what you do. It's easier than it sounds, to be honest. Like I say, just fucking, you've got to box clever though with these fucking incidents and stuff. Like, you've got to think fast, right? When they're dropping questions on you, right? If you're answering questions, right, you've got to be fast thinking, right? Like I say, when I do these prepared statements, a prepared statement is just a piece of paper, a blank piece of paper. You fill, your solicitor writes it out, and you just sign it. It's always very short and to the point. All I say is, I, Cody Lachey, deny the allegation of, I don't know, witness intimidation, threats to kill, I don't know, whatever the charge may be. At the night of the alleged offence, I was at home, right? If you had a disclosure and the police tell you that they've got you on CCTV, right, you can't say you was at home because then they know you're lying, you're fucked, right? But if they've got no CCTV on you, no forensics, no DNA, right, that's what you say. I just say, yeah, I was at home, because then they've got to disprove that, right? As a matter of courtesy, I will answer no comment to any further question, and then I sign it. Simple as that, right? So then I've denied the allegation, I've given alibi, said I was at home, right? The police have got to disprove that. And yeah, and then, like I said, I go no comment. So I'm not digging myself in the shit. I'm not putting myself in the shit. I'm not giving them, because like I say, it's like if I answer questions, I'm giving them piece of the jigsaw, right? And you don't want to do that, do you? No, you don't, because that's fucking stupid, right? If you've not done anything, right? If you've nothing to do with it at all, right? You can give a version of events, right? Like I say, keep it short and sweet. And just say, I was at home, like, oh, I don't know that, I don't know the answer to that, I don't know the answer to that. Because in the eyes of my solicitor used to say to me, you're either in, as in you're answering questions, or you're out, you're going no comment, right? So you can't have your foot, you can't be in and out, so you can't be going no comment and then answering other questions. You can't do that, because it looks fucking fishy. Because how it works, right, if you go no comment, right, all the way through your interview, and then you get charged with it and you go to court. As soon as you open your mouth in court, they'll say, well, why didn't you give this version of events when you was arrested? And it pretty much fucks you up, because what they say when you first been arrested and stuff, when the first bit of the interview, they say to you, you do not have to say anything, right? And they ask you to read, to if you understand, you do not have to answer anything, but if you do answer something, that you may rely on, right, and stuff like that. So they ask you if you understand the charge and stuff, right? So what they're really saying in layman's terms is, if you go no comment, right, that the jury can make up their own minds, right? And like I say, that's just pretty much how it is. No comment in the eyes of the police is like, you're guilty, but that's how you're not giving them anything, right? And it's as simple as that. And sometimes it'll work and sometimes it won't. It depends how good you are. But in my experience, for all the crimes I've ever been arrested for, I've been to prison a couple of times, but everything's been a minor compared to, I've been arrested for a lot of serious things, but I've only got a small criminal record, and the reason is because I'm good in interview. That's my honest opinion. It's amazing how far a pair of gloves, a hoodie, or a balaclava or something can do. If you're doing something illegal, right, and you've got a pair of gloves on, right? If you're in a stolen car, you've got gloves on, right? You're not leaving prints, are you? If you go in robbing a house, right? Not that I'm telling people to commit crime, but if you go out and you've got gloves and you're breaking someone else, unless you cut yourself on a piece of glass in that house, right? You shouldn't be getting caught. So people need to be clever. If people are prepping for crime and stuff, they should be clever and stuff and plan for every eventuality, right? Because like I say, the police, what you need to remember with the police, right? They're overstretched, yeah, they're overworked, and they're understaffed, yeah. That's why people are going, that's why crime rates are soaring and stuff at the moment. But like I say, it's all down to your interview technique and stuff like that. I hope it's making sense to some people, because I know what I mean when I'm saying it. Like I said, in layman's terms, in short terms, if you're guilty, right, drop a prepared statement. A prepared statement, your solicitor will know what it is. Just say, I would deny the allegation and give them, say you was at home or something like that. If you live at home with fucking 30 people, that's not good, because then that means the police will go and speak to could go to your house and speak to 30 people. So you've got to give a version of events where it's like, you don't drag other people in, because if you're dragging other people in, that's when it gets messy. Because if you're going no comment, right, and then your mate who's been arrested with you, he's talking, right, and then he can contradict what you're saying. Because if you've got two people, right, you get dickheads, right? I've been in the past, yeah, people that I used to knock about with. Two of them used to speak, right? Now, you go no comment, and them two are talking. So the first one's contradicting what the second one's saying. The second one, because no two stories are exactly the same, right? Unless you've got your shit together. And they ended up getting charged and stuff. And like I say, you don't give them anything to play with. No comment is frustrating for the police because it means they've got to go out and do police work, right? And it means they've got to investigate and everything else. And like I say, with every range of crime that people can get done for, if you've been driving along, right, and you've got 20 keys of fucking heroin in your car and you've been pulled over and it's in your car, in your possession, right, and the car's registered to you, you're pretty much down the river, you're fucked, right? So again, if that was me, I'd go no comment. Right, because even though you know you bang to rights and stuff like that, sometimes they let the little fish get through the net to catch the bigger, more serious criminals. Yeah, because obviously if you've got 20 keys in your car, you're obviously part of a much bigger thing and stuff. And like I say, the police are there. The bastards of the police. They might be all nicey with you, but they're trying to get evidence out of you, and you don't give them evidence. Never drop anyone else in it. Speak about your own fucking situation. If you're giving a version of events because you're not guilty, give a truthful version of events, because if you're nothing to do with it, you've got nothing to lie about, have you? It's as simple as that. Right, guys, listen, I'm going to leave it there. I waffled on for long enough. Any more videos or anything, give us a shout. Please comment below, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends and all that good stuff. All right, guys, speak to you soon. Bye.